Hey guys, Coach Matt here from Joe's Basecamp, ready to run you guys through another Basecamp Homies workout. Hope you guys are having a good day. You've been working nice and hard. That brain needs a bit of a rest, so let's get those legs up, get you stretched out, warm, heart pumping, and get you moving around. So, what have we got involved today? We're gonna get you guys to run through a warm-up, go through a skill, incorporate that skill into a bit more of a strength circuit, and we've got a challenge for you in at the end. So if we get you guys up and about now, we'll get started the warm-up. So if you've done it before, you know that we generally start with high knees. So those high knees, we're looking to get up nice and tall through your torso, knee up to the chest, and we're doing this for about 20 seconds. So I'm not too concerned how many you do, we just want to go through full range. From there, we're going to go into your bum kicks or your heel flicks. So we're trying to get heels to bum, nice tall torso, and again, with each stride, we're trying to get as far as we can. So bum, or heel touching the bum. From there, we're going to go into your A skips. So again, we're staying nice and tall, up on the ball of the foot, trying to get the knee as high as we can, and just taking a nice little skip on the foot each time. From there, we're going into our bounds. So our bounds, we straight legs, pumping the arms, staying on the ball of the feet, and again, trying to be nice and bouncy, trying to get those feet as far in front of us as we can. From there, we're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to go through some lunges with rotation. So again, we want to stay nice and tall. We're going to drop our back knee to the floor and turn our torso one way and then the other. Stand tall, drop the back knee, same idea. Trying to scan as far as we can. Squeezing that back bum cheek, each rep, trying to look as far as we can. One more on the other side. Again, nice and tall, squeeze that back bum cheek, seeing if you can see the back wall behind you. Coming up nice and tall. From there, we're into our inchworm. So just make sure I'm in shot. We're gonna try and touch our toes, walk our hands out into a push-up position. From there, we're gonna drop your hips down to the ground, look up to the roof, big breath out. We're then going to pop up into a downward dog, hips to the ceiling, pushing yourself away from the floor. We're then going to walk yourself hands back to toes. Do the same, hands to toes, walk yourself out slowly into a push-up, nice tight tummy, then drop hips to floor, big breath out, look to the roof, then up into your downward dog, hips up to the ceiling, walk your hands back, touching your toes. We'll go through one more of those just because I'm liking how that feels today. Back in your push-up position, drop the hips, look to the ceiling, big breath out. Up into your downward dog, trying to keep those back legs as straight as you can. Hands to your toes, stand nice and tall. Last one we're going to run through for the first round is your striders. Back into that push-up position, foot to the outside of your hand, trying to squeeze that back bum cheek. From there, you're going to take a big breath out as you reach that inside hand up to the roof, trying to push two hands as far away from each other as you can. Coming back down, switching the legs around. Again, squeeze the back bum cheek, big breath in at the bottom, big breath out, reach the two hands as far away from each other as you can. We'll go one more each side. Big breath in, big breath out, trying to push that bottom hand through the floor, reaching that top hand up to the roof. And same again on that other side. Good. And then coming back up nice and tall, and we're just going through that one more round, guys. So again, we're starting with high knees again. So up nice and tall, knees to chest, pumping the arms, seeing if you can get those knees any higher than you did in that first round. From there, you're into your bum kick. So again, staying tall on the balls of the feet, heels hitting your bum, and just keeping a nice steady pace with it. From there, into your A skips. So on the ball of the foot, pumping the arms as we bounce up on the ball of the foot, skipping through the field. From there, back into your bounce. So again, straight legs, ball of the feet, kicking the feet as far forward as you can, staying nice and tall, staying bouncy on the ball of your foot. From there, we're into your lunge with rotation. So just slowing it down again, back knee down to the floor, trying to scan as far as you can one way, and then the other. And then standing back up nice and tall. Drop that back knee, squeeze that back bum cheek, looking as far over each shoulder as you can. One more each side. Good. And one more to even it off. Don't want to be walking in circles for the rest of the day. From there, we're back into your inchworms. So again, need a bit of space, hands to your toes, walk yourself out into a push-up position, nice tight tummy, then let it go, hips to floor, big breath out, look to the roof, back on the toes, hips up to the roof, walking yourself back up, and then repeating once more. Hands to toes, walk yourself out, push-up position, drop the hips, sink into that stretch, pushing up into your downward dog, and then walking your hands back to your toes, and then finishing off with those striders. So again, we want to hit that push-up position, and then taking a foot to the outside of your hand, big breath in at the bottom, big breath out, stretching those two hands as far away from each other as you can. Switching around, remembering to keep that back bum cheek squeezed, inside hand, reaching to the roof, and coming back down. One more each side. Good. Nice, guys. One more. Big stretch. Bringing that breathing down just a little bit. And then standing nice and tall. I hope you guys are feeling sufficiently warm. I know I am. Alrighty guys, we'll grab a quick drink before we jump into your skill. So today, guys, our skill is some landing mechanics. So for any of you guys who are playing sports, this is a good skill to work on. There are many times in a sport, well, depending on what sport you play, where we're going to land. And not all the time can we control that landing, but where we can, we want to try and do that as often as possible, so we can distribute the forces through your body well and avoid injury as best we can. So we're going to work on a drill today that practices those landing mechanics. For some of you, you'll find it quite easy and we'll try and give you a progression. For others, you might find it a little bit difficult, and that's then we want to stay on this skill and get a little bit better at it before we work on trying to work into harder skills. So the drill we're going to work through is called a tall to short landing. So what that looks like is we're going to adopt one position, which is high on our toes, reaching up towards the sky, and from there we're going to drop as fast as we can. So we're going to lift our feet, drop as fast as we can, and look to land in our optimal landing position, which is going to be a soft bend at your hips, a soft bend at your knees, and hands back by your hips. So by the time we drop and my feet hit the floor, I'm looking to have my hands back by my hips, but I'm trying to produce that motion quickly. So the way it looks in real time is I'm going to be up high on my toes, reaching towards the ceiling. I'm going to lift my feet and then look to hit that position where it is. Soft bend in knees, soft bend in hips. And what you should have noticed as well is that as my feet hit the floor, my hands were back by my hands. So if I was in an old Western film, I'd be drawing my guns, quick, smart, ready to get my opponent. So what we're going to get you guys to do now is jump up on your feet and do the same. So we're going to be high on the toes, reaching towards the sky. Make sure you balance before we go from here. From here, we're going to lift our feet, drop, and look to land in that position, which is soft bend in knees, soft bend in hips, hands by your bum. We'll go one more for you to practice. Now, for those of you who are finding two legs quite easy, we'll give you the harder skill to work on. For those of you who are finding that a bit trickier, I want you just to keep working through that. So that high reach to start off with and then snapping down to that landing. And for those who are finding it a little bit easier, we're going to get you to do the same thing. So we're going to start on 2 feet, but then we're going to try and land on 1. So when I land on 1, everything stays the same except 1 foot is up. So it's going to be a soft bend in my knee, a soft bend in my hip, and on this leg that's up, I'm trying to lift it up so that I'm almost bringing my knee to my chest, or trying to. It's not going to reach that high, but I'm making sure I keep my torso up nice and tall. So that one more time. High on the toes, hands overhead, and then trying to land in that nice active soft bend, soft knee. So what we'll get you guys to do, if you've just tried that single leg landing, is try 5 of those on both. For those of you still trying to go with two legs, same guy for you guys. We'll get you to work through 5 of those before we get onto our strength-based part of the workout, or where we're looking to integrate that skill into something a bit more difficult. Good job, guys. Alrighty, so I'm going to take it that you guys are done there. So we'll jump into your circuit now. So your circuit, as we said, is going to integrate the skill that we've just worked on, but it's going to play around with a few other skills as well. So today we're going to do what's called an EMOM. So an EMOM is each minute on the minute. So essentially, we're going to have 5 exercises, 2 rounds of each. And what we've got is we've got a rep target of each exercise that we're going to try and hit each minute. So in this case, we've got 6 squat jumps. Where are we? 10 deck squats, 16 sit-outs, 12 push-ups, and 15 seated towel rows. So essentially in that first minute, we're going to try and do 6 squat jumps where we're going to stick the landing. The time that we have left is the rest period before we jump onto our second exercise. We're going to work through that first round, 1 exercise at a time, so 5 minutes. Then we're going to repeat that round once more. So before we start, we'll run you through these skills, but before we do, we're going to need you guys to grab a couple of pieces of equipment. First, I'm going to need you to grab a towel, and secondly, I'm going to need you guys potentially to grab something that's a little bit of weight. So if it's something like a can of baked beans, a heavy book, something that's just floating around the house that you may need to hold on to eventually at some point in the workout when we're doing those deck squats. So what we'll do is we'll all break away now. You go grab that equipment, grab a drink as well, and then we'll meet back here in a minute to get started. And I'll make sure I grab my equipment too. Here's my substitute for a towel. Here's my little bit of weight. Alrighty guys, so we'll give you a quick run through of what all those skills are. So our first one is a squat jump where we're looking to stick the landing. So the stick landing is essentially where we're trying to integrate the skill we just worked on before. So we'll be jumping up from a squat position, jumping as high as we can. As we land, we're trying to land in that same position. So the soft bend in the knees, the soft bend in the hips, the hands back by your bum, ready to draw your guns if you're in a Western fight. So the way it's going to look is you're going to start, you're not going to come as high as you can on your toes, but we're going to drop your bum down to the ground, jump as high as you can, and then look to land in that landing position we were talking about. Your second skill is going to be a deck squat. So your deck squat is going to be a movement where we try and roll or squat all the way down to the ground. We're then going to roll on your back. We're then going to push our feet forwards, reach, and stand up nice and tall. Now, if you find that movement difficult, and we'll get you to play around with that at the moment as I'm talking, if you're finding that difficult to get up, find that little bit of weight that we had you grab before and try and do the same thing, but holding it out in front. So you're going to squat all the way down, bum to your heels, onto the back. You're then going to reach it forward, and it's going to help drag you forward and help you to stand up nice and tall. From there, your third skill is a sit-out. For those of you who saw one of our workouts earlier on, we broke down the sit-out. So if you haven't seen it before and you want it broken down a little bit, try and jump back in our YouTube clip. I think it was April 3rd, we ran through that. What we're looking at is we're going to have you on your hands and your knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're then going to take one hand off the ground. We're then going to bring the opposite leg through that gap down into this low squatted position. So when one leg's out in front, other leg's bent, and my hand supporting me, I'm going to come back to where I started from and go through the other way. So if we've got 16 of those, we're going to do 8 one side and 8 the other. From there, our push-ups. Again, we broke this down. I think this was April 6 or April 7. Hands under shoulders, out nice and long, dropping your chest down to the floor, driving up to where you started from. So essentially what we want to try and do through there is keep a nice straight back. Your last one is the seated towel row. So this is where we're going to use the towels that we got you guys to grab. So I'm going to use a little bit of a band. And from here, what we're going to have you doing is you're going to try and twist that towel up if it's too long. Otherwise, if it's not, just keep as is. We're then going to get you to wrap that towel just underneath your feet. You're going to try and sit on your bum as high as you can. And what we're doing here is your feet are going to serve as resistance in this motion. So we want to stay up nice and tall throughout. We're going to start with your feet out as straight as you can get them so that your arms are nice and straight. You're then going to try and pull your hands back, keeping nice and tall, pulling your shoulder blades together, and then push out with your feet. And as we push out with the feet on the way out, we're trying to control that motion with our hands, so that's where the feet serve as resistance on the way out. And as I pull in, I'm trying to push my feet away from myself so that I'm making it hard for that band to come towards me. So we're doing 15 of those. So we should feel that between your shoulder blades, a bit down the back, but our tummy will be working nice and hard as well just to hold us into that upright position. So we've got 15 of those. So as we mentioned, guys, this is now an EMOM where we're working through all those 5 exercises twice. We're trying to get through the reps in each minute. The rest will serve as a rest period. So, hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. I'll whack this into the clock. We'll have 10 seconds before it begins, and then the fun starts. Now, as we said with those squat jumps, I'm not too worried how quickly you get through them. I'd rather you focus on trying to jump as high as you can and make sure that we stick that landing each time. Alrighty guys, let's see if I can work this time. Oh, not a good start. Here we go, we're on. Beautiful. Alrighty guys, we'll be on in 10 seconds. So that first exercise is those squat jumps where we're looking to stick that landing. We've got 3 seconds, 2, 1. So as we said, jump up nice and high, stick the landing. Stand up, shake everything out, and same again. Good. Each jump, just trying to make it higher than the last. Halfway there. So we've got plenty of time to get through these in a minute. That's why we just want to try and make sure every rep is as much effort as we can. Perfect. So there's 6, 30 seconds on the clock, plenty of time. So one of these ones where if drinks close by, I'd be grabbing it just to make sure we're hydrated, because there will be some other exercises where we maybe don't get the same level of rest. So our next one, guys, is those deck squats. So if you struggled with them during the practice at the start, grab that weight and have it with you. If you didn't, no weight. Let's see how you go through 10. Alrighty, squatting all the way down, rolling back, kick the legs forward, reach forward and stand up nice and tall. Kick the legs forward, reach forward, standing up nice and tall. Now if you're finding it a little bit easy, see how close you can bring your legs together. The tighter we bring those feet, the more that we have to work through some range, overcome some inefficient leverages. And as always, as I start talking, I forget how to count. I think there's about 3 to go. You kids will have to check me next time, make sure I'm not cheating. I'm gonna go 1 just in case. 10, I think. And as we said, this is one of those ones where we don't have as much time for rest. So that's why when the ones we do have time for rest, we want to grab that drink. All right, guys, we've got sit outs. So we've got 16 of them, as we said, 8 each side, hands gonna come up, legs gonna come through. So if it's the first time you've done them, slow it down a little bit. I'll go a little bit slower so you can copy me as well. So hand up, foot through, hand up, opposite foot through, bending the leg out nice and straight. Oh God, I've done it again. I think that's 6. We'll go 8 there. So halfway, and as you get a little bit more comfortable with that motion, you can start to go through a little bit quicker. And I'm gonna rush through because I like to have rest periods. 16, what do we got? Where's my clock? 20 seconds, that's good amount of rest. Alrighty guys, that's 3 of 10 done. So next up is those push-ups. So as we said with these push-ups, we want to make sure our back's nice and straight. If you struggle to keep a straight back while you're on the floor, you can drop to your knees, you can elevate your hands. So if you've got a table handy or a couch close by, whack your hands on that and work through your push-ups. But I'll show you a couple of those other progressions. So if you struggle doing it on your toes like that, dropping to your knees may be an option, or you can drop on the toes, push up on the knees. Otherwise, as we said, put your hands on a table or something a little bit higher, and that motion should come a little bit easier. How many of these? 12. Ooh, yeah. Again, terrible at counting. Last one, I think. Alrighty, we'll add a bit of maths practice for you guys. Second round through all of these, I'll make sure you guys count, make sure I'm in check, and if you're not, or if I'm not, comment at the bottom. Let me know next time I need to do some better better counting or I need to practice out of here. It's been a while since I went to school. And again, one of those ones where I had an opportunity for a drink, I didn't take it, too busy talking. But if you see that on the clock again, that was 30 seconds, take that opportunity to grab a drink. Alrighty, one of the ones I'm not looking forward to, these seated towel rows. So, sitting on your bum, grabbing with both ends of the towel, and then trying to keep nice and tall. A lot of balance involved here. A lot more pressure when you're on camera too. Trying not to fall, and God, I don't think I'm doing a very good job of it. Whew. This might be a time where that inability to count comes in handy. I'm gonna say that was 10. Last one. Alrighty guys, so that has us halfway through. 5 down, 5 to go. So again, we're starting at the top with those squat jumps. Same as we did last time. It's all about trying to get as much effort into each jump as you can. As you saw, we've got plenty of time to get through it. We want to make sure we're getting the most out of those small amount of reps that we can. So dropping down, jumping up, sticking that landing. Shake it out a little bit, going through again. 2 down, 4 to go. Should have got Jez to do these. He's a much better jumper than I am. Little kangaroo. Ooh, yeah. 2 to go. Shake it out again. Last one. Up on the toes. I think I might have cleared 20 centimeters there. Alrighty guys, 30 seconds. Let's grab a drink. Alrighty, maths question for you. If we're 6 out of 10, what percentage is that? We'll answer next exercise. Alrighty, what do we got now? Deck squats. Alright, again, if you need that weight, have it out in front. If you want to try and challenge yourself, try at least the first couple without, see how you go. And again, if you're finding it pretty easy, try and bring the feet in a little bit closer. If you're finding that still easy, you can try on one leg. But I'm gonna opt not to show you guys that, because I don't know if I'll get that one on camera. Is that 7? What do we got? 20 seconds. 2 to go. Oh God. It's getting a little bit harder. Last one. Oh yeah. There's 10. Alrighty guys. So last answer to that question, 6 out of 10, 60%. If that's the case, what's 7 out of 10? That answer coming right up after this exercise. Sit outs. So again, that little breakdancing move. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. One hand up, opposite foot through. We'll go through slowly these first couple, just to get you guys comfortable with that motion if it's the first time you've played with it. And then as we get a little bit more comfortable, we'll start to go through that a bit quicker. I think that was halfway. Oh God, I lost count from there. I think it's 2 to go. There's 16. Alrighty guys, so again, one of those ones where we can probably afford to go grab a drink. I think I might not this time. Feeling strong. What do we got? 2 to go. Last answer, 70%. 8 out of 10. Not going to ask the question. 80%. We're almost there, guys. 2 to go. Push-ups. So again, we struggled last time. Find a higher surface or try it on the knees if you found it easy or too easy and you were in one of those regressions. Try something a little bit harder. So on the toes, straight back, chest to floor. If you were going from toes to knees, you'd go up to toes. If you were doing it on the knees before, you'd go to the one before that, toes to knees. Good, nice tight tummy. Trying to reach away from the floor at the top. I think that was 12. You guys been checking my counting? Let me know if I'm not doing it right. Alrighty guys, that is 9 of 10. Got those seated tower rows again. Not looking forward to these. The balance is not great. 15, and then glory. Well, no, not glory after that. We've got the challenge and then glory. Chance to go and have a bit of food, a bit more break, and then into some study. So we're gonna need to grab our towel, and then sitting down on the bum, 3 seconds. Grabbing both ends of the towel, kicking the feet out, keeping tall as you row your knees in towards you. Oh God. Don't bend like I used to. Good, 8 there. I'm actually counting it well this time, I think. Whew. Balancing, that's another issue. 4 there, guys. I think 15. 1 for good luck in case. Oh God, not the best one. Let's finish on a good one. Oh, there we go. Alrighty, guys. And with that, looks like we've got a bit of rest as well. Finished ahead of time, you beauty. Alrighty, guys. Grab a drink, and we'll bring you through our final challenge slash tongue-tied, slash skill for the day. Bit of gymnastics. Alrighty, guys. So our last challenge skill for the day is the good old bridge. Hopefully I can pull this off. The bridge is where you're going to be on your back, hands and feet flat on the ground. We're then going to try and push ourselves into a shape that resembles the harbour bridge. What we'll do from there, if you struggle to get in that position, we'll try and show you a couple of ways that you can build up to that. Our challenge from there is, when we're in that position, we're going to try and hold it for as long as we can and see who is the last person remaining. I'm not banking on myself. I'll make sure I'm in shot, so I'm just going to come back here. I think we're good here. So, we're going to be lying flat on the back. We want feet bent. Somewhere where you can touch the heels isn't a bad place to start. If you feel a little bit tight doing that, a bit further out might not be a bad way to adjust it. I'm going to try and start in nice and tight, see if I've still got this from here. Make sure you got it shirt untucked if you do have the shirt tucked up, otherwise you'll get trapped. Hands are going to go back by your ears. We're going to push through your feet and through your hands to try and bring yourself up into a bridge. So when we're up here, we want to make sure that we're squeezing your bum, trying to suck your belly button in to an extent, just so we're not working too hard through your lower back. We don't want any sort of pinch through that lower back. We want to feel like between our shoulder blades is doing a bit of work. We may have a bit of a stretch through the front of our hips, but we definitely don't want pain through that lower back. And while we're there, we're trying to push through your hands the whole time through, so we're nice and active through those shoulders and really trying to push away from the floor. Now, if you struggle to get into that position from the floor, if we bring some pillows or something like that underneath your back where we stack you up a little bit higher, it might be a bit more of an achievable position to get into. So now I'm going to take advantage of this ball that's just lying around. Plenty of those in the gym. And so if I was to do that, I've got something that stacks me up a little bit higher. So again, we could use pillows, and then we're just going to try and hit that same position. But now it's just a little bit easier to press up into that position and hold. So if you did struggle from the floor, see if you've got anything lying around. It doesn't have to be a ball. I don't expect any of you to have a 25 kilo med ball lying around. But if you've got some pillows that you can stack on top of each other, or something of the like, where something soft that you can land on as well if we do come down, get them together. Otherwise, if you did manage from the floor, we'll try from the floor. Jesus, make sure that stays. Beautiful. Alrighty. So as we said, guys, the challenge now is to see who can hold it for the longest. Now, if you do get to a point while you're holding it for a long period of time where it is getting a little bit painful, especially in that lower back region, pull the pin. These challenges definitely aren't something that we want to cause injury by. We just want to challenge ourselves that little bit and to see what we are capable of, but we also want to live to fight another day. Alrighty, so we'll get into position. So for those who do it from the floor, just make sure you've got plenty of room on the floor. For those who needed pillows stacked underneath them, get those pillows set up, and we're going to go in 5. So if you can, feet close so that you can touch them, hands by your ears, and then from there, I'm going to push through the feet, push through the hands, squeeze your bum, squeeze your tummy,
And then from there, we're just going to camp out in this position. Now you may get a bit of a blood rush to the head. I find looking to the roof is helpful so they don't get too dizzy. Maybe not the best position to hold in a bridge, but in this case, I don't want to go dizzy and pass out. So I'm going to look to the roof. For those of you who are able to look to the floor, or even just look to the wall behind you, it's a better position to hold your head in. So again, squeezing that bum, sucking that tummy in. I'm starting to get a bit of that pinch in my lower back. So I'm going to bow out there so that I can live to fight another day. If any of you are still going, it's very, very impressive. Now, for those of you who bowed out a little bit shorter and want to try again while the others are going, get into your position and try her again. Make sure, again, there's no pain in that lower back. And what we'll do is we'll go for another 20 seconds and just see how those ones who are able to hold it on for that long, let's see how far they can hold. And if you are still going, I'm awfully impressed. Alrighty guys, we've got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, coming out of that slowly, try and land on the floor softly. Alrighty, and then guys, I hope you feel sufficiently worked. I know I do. Let your friends know about us. Basecamp Homies Workout YouTube channel. Get your friends involved. Talk about it afterwards. We'll see you next time for a good workout. Good job, guys.